amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Today's guest has been on the show before, and you said we must have her back. She is the chef for Mama Sezz, a wonderful whole food, plant-based food delivery service that delivers anywhere, I think, in the United States. It's delicious. They even have a Chef AJ approved SOS free line, which I'll give you the link for. And today she is going to be making veggie pot pies. Please welcome back to the show, Chef Caroline. It's great to see you again.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Chef AJ. It's so good to be back on your show. I had so much fun last time.
Well, people loved you and they loved your recipe. You made like a faux tuna, if I remember.
Yeah, it was like a almost like a chicken salad. It was chickpea, and we did with curry chickpea instead of like the typical, cream-based pickle onion thing.
Yeah, well, you're just a wonderful recipe creator, and I can't wait to see what you're making, especially because it sounds like it might be something that would be perfect for Thanksgiving.
That's what I was thinking when I chose this recipe. It's starting to get cold in New England. I'm up in Portland, Maine right now, and I've been craving comfort food for the last couple of weeks just because it's really, really chilly. And so I was like, pot pie would be perfect. It's little single serve pot pies. So if you are having, people in your bubble over for Thanksgiving, this might be a good recipe so that everybody can have their own little individual pot pie.
Sounds great. I can't wait.
Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna dice half a cup of onions and 1 clove of garlic. And I like to add extra garlic to everything I cook, so that's totally up to you. And then you're gonna use a little bit of veggie broth for cooking. And Chef AJ noted that you can get a salt-free veggie broth from Engine 2 and also from Kitchen Basics. So that would probably be the best bet if you're doing salt-free. So I just put a little bit of veggie broth in the pan, enough so that the onions and garlic don't stick. And I'm just gonna put it on a medium to high heat. I noticed that when you cook with veggie broth, you can actually use a little bit of a higher heat so that the moisture cooks off faster. And you don't have to worry about heating up that oil to the point where it's carcinogenic either, which is really nice.
Any special pan you're using or recommend?
I just got these pans from Target. They're non-stick. I like non-stick when I'm using veggie broth just because, it prevents sticking. They're really easy to wash, and not using oil kind of makes your pans easy to wash anyway, which I really enjoyed. My kitchen's a lot cleaner than it used to be. And you don't have to have that vent at the top cleaned out. We've actually noticed at Mama Sezz, the people that come into our kitchen to clean out the vent, the hood above the cooking area, they say this is the cleanest one we've ever seen. We don't really need to come back here. And that's because we don't use oil in our cooking. So same thing with your body. If you think of the inside of that hood, it's kind of like the inside of your veins. You don't have all that filled up, all that grease. It's just totally pure and clean.
Yeah, I don't know. The oil is just it's just so misunderstood that it's necessity in cooking and health. It's just, you don't need it for either.
It's so true. And I'm Italian. I grew up, I cook in oil and then I would just drizzle a bunch of oil on top of my food afterwards, just for the flavor of it. And I still enjoy a little bit of oil here and there, but it's just as easy to cook without it. It's not as big of a deal as I thought it would be transitioning away from it. You can still caramelize onions. You can still get things really crispy. My roommate got an air fryer for her birthday. So I'm really excited to experiment with that, make some oil-free French fries. But yeah, it's not as hard as you think it might be, especially, when you get used to it. For caramelizing onions, if you let them stick a little bit and brown and then add a little water to deglaze the pan or a little veggie broth, you get that same nice rich brown color that you'd get if you were sauteing in oil.
Absolutely.
So let this saute for a little bit. The next thing I'm going to do is add my veggies. And this is really up to you. I like to add potatoes, carrots, celery, and peas and corn because those just kind of scream pot pie to me. But, if you want to throw some zucchini in there, there a little bit of red pepper, green pepper, it's totally up to you. I typically use about 1/3 cup of diced potato, and I just have a red potato here, 1/3 cup of carrots, and 1/2 cup of celery to start. And I'm going to put the frozen peas and corn in a little bit. But I just want to soften up those potatoes and celery and carrots for a little bit. So add a tiny bit more veggie broth just to get that steaming nice and quickly. And I'm just cooking until the potatoes start to soften.
Is pot pie an offering of Mama Sezz?
No, we don't offer pot pie. Probably our closest product would be the gardener's pie. And that's kind of a play off of a shepherd's pie. We use a lentil base, we have potatoes, and then peas, carrot, and corn on top. It would be nice to have a pot pie though. That's something to definitely pitch to the kitchen. So I'll bring these in next week and I'll have co-founders Meg and Lisa try them out and see what they think.
Nice.
Yeah, and I like to make gluten-free dishes just because everything at Mama Sezz is gluten-free. And so, you know, if you do have an allergy or sensitivity, it just kind of is a little more inclusive. Everybody's welcome at our table. And, you know, if you wanted to try it with a crust with gluten in it that you've made in the past, an SOS-free crust, that's totally fine too. But this is also a little bit easier to make the crust than if you were to make a total dough. I don't know how much you've used garbanzo bean flour, but I discovered it in the last couple of months and I've just been making everything with it.
Really? I've done stuff with millet flour. I've had some good luck with that.
Okay, millet flour. I'll have to try that. What I like about garbanzo bean flour is it kind of acts as a thickener, which is really nice. So I'm going to put a little garbanzo bean flour in the base and then also use it to make the crust. But if you just mix it with a little water, you can dip veggies in it, broccoli, cauliflower, you know, whatever, throw it in the oven, bake it, and you pretty much have vegetable tempura. It's almost like a fried vegetable, you know, with the batter on the outside. So if you make a little dipping sauce, you can make cauliflower wings. You can make, I did avocado and put that on a veggie burger, Mama Sezz veggie burger. So it leaves you with a lot of options in it, and it can help thicken your soups. It does taste a little bitter before it's cooked. So if you're making a baked good and you taste the batter, it's not going to taste like that after you cook it. Don't worry.
Diane says she loves Mama Sezz scalloped potatoes in the risotto tomato mushroom bake. And she has another order coming. She loves their food.
Oh, good. That's so great to hear. You know, the scalloped potatoes are one of my favorite dishes. And that's another great one around the holidays. We actually just launched, or relaunched, I should say, our holiday bundle. And that has a couple new products like the mashed sweet potato, cranberry chutney, and that does have the scalloped potatoes in it, a little veggie sausage, cornbread, our Hungarian mushroom soup that can act as a gravy, some poultry seasoned protein strips that are made just out of soybeans. So I believe Chef AJ, you have a link in the description that people can go to purchase. Is that correct?
You bet. I'm going to put it up right now, and it's also going to be in the show notes.
Oh, great. So yeah, you can go right to that link and order the holiday bundle. That's great for Thanksgiving, Christmas, over New Year, and we'll probably take it down once the weather starts to get a little bit sunnier over here in New England. I know you guys still have a little bit of sun over there in California.
I know it's really cold though. It's getting down to like 60.
Oh, really? Oh my God. Well, I think we had one day in the 30s here, which was pretty rough. And then it bounced back up this past weekend to the 70s. So we're a little all over the place in New England fashion. Okay.
Oh, and Misty says she loves the bean burgers and cheese sauce, so delicious, and loves the protein strip. That's great that you guys are Mama Sezz fans, because they're wonderful. If you guys know the story about it, it all came from Millie. Millie had heart disease and reversed it, and she'd be on the show, except she's playing tennis now, I hear.
Yes, she will be in partway through the show. She actually just celebrated her 90th birthday.
That's incredible.
It is. And she looks great. She's active. She's been swimming. She's been doing yoga. She drives still. Her family isn't a big fan of that, but she's
yeah. Listen, I'm 60 and I'm ready to give up driving if somebody would let me. I think driving's overrated. Oh, Misty says she also loves Millie's chili. Sandy wanted to know what ingredients are in the Mama Sezz scalloped potatoes.
In the scalloped potatoes, we thinly sliced potatoes, we use leeks, and then we use Mama's mac sauce with a couple extra spices in there. And we just bake it all together in little trays. We sprinkle a little bit of paprika on top, and that gives it a nice pop of color. And then we bake it until it starts to crisp on top. And, you know, the mac sauce is really the special secret ingredient there that gives it the nice rich flavor and kind of buttery flavor that you it's hard to get without oil, but the mac sauce really does it.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so our veggies have softened a little bit. The potatoes, when I poke them, they're starting to fall apart, so that's exactly what I'm looking for. The next thing I'm going to do is add our spices. And again, you know, if you know how to spice a pot pie, put whatever you usually put into your pot pie, put those spices in. I'm going to use nutritional yeast and parsley, 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast and half a teaspoon of parsley. The nutritional yeast just makes it nice and cheesy. I love using it. Next, we're going to I just put a pinch of thyme and a little bit of black pepper. Put that in. And then I'm going to use that garbanzo bean flour before I put the rest of my liquid in. So I'm kind of using it almost as a potato starch. So you're going to want to mix it in that to your veggies where there's just a little bit of moisture in the pan. And then once the veggies are coated, as you can see, then we're going to add a half a cup of your non-dairy milk. And I just use a little bit of organic soy milk. I'm going to use about half a cup or less of your veggie broth, your salt-free veggie broth. And then I'm going to put a half a cup of my frozen peas and corn in there as well. And I'm just going to give it a nice, good mix. And you can see it'll already start to thicken a little bit with the garbanzo bean flour in the pan. And the more you mix it, you know, the more the little lumps will come out. But that'll also happen when you cook it. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to throw it back on the stovetop and let the moisture evaporate a little bit, let it reduce, and you'll see it'll become nice and thick and creamy.
Nice.
Okay, so that is back on the stovetop. And like I said, really use any spices that are traditional flavors that you're used to using, especially when you're making something that is, you know, typically a meat or dairy dish. It's good to use those familiar flavors when you make the new ones so that, you know, it brings you back. It's something you're used to, and it makes it less difficult to transition because you don't feel like you're just jumping across the board and eating totally new foods.
Neat.
Yeah.
So, thanks for referring the wonderful guest, your tennis coach. I had a lot of fun talking to him. He was really fun.
He's a great guy. He's one of the people who inspired me to go plant-based and made the transition really, really easy for me. He's also the guy that told me that I needed to chill out when I was putting like 5 cups of hummus on everything because I was so worried about protein. It's like, do a little research before you freak out about protein. So that was really reassuring. Yeah, I watched your show together. It was awesome. He's, you know, really easy to talk to. He's inspirational. He's helping his athletes to get healthy, take care of their bodies in a great way, and really made a lasting impression on me.
Yeah, and you managed to stay vegan. What about the other team members? Are you the only one, or you're not in touch with them?
Let's see. One of my teammates, she and I were the number 1 and 2 seed, and she was vegan before I was, probably, I'd say 6 months before I did it.
Maybe that's why you guys were number 1 and number 2.
Maybe. We're also, I think, just really driven to you know, do our very best, and if that means changing up your diet, that means changing up your diet. But she did a 1-month challenge and just stuck with it because she thought it was so amazing. She did it with one of her friends who ended up staying vegetarian, mostly vegan. And then I saw her doing it. You know, when she first did it, I was giving her a hard time, which I feel horrible about. And then, you know, a couple months later, I started doing it. I was like, okay, this is what she's talking about. I felt so much better. I was probably in the last quarter of my team when it came to the time mile, and I was training daily for it because I just couldn't figure it out. You know, I have runner's body. My dad's a runner. I couldn't get in, you know, anywhere in the first half of my team. And then 2 weeks after going plant-based, it wasn't even training anymore. And I was up there. I was number 3. So it's little things like that that I started to notice along the way. Walking up the stairs to my classes, there's a bunch of 20-year-olds huffing and puffing around me, and I was feeling amazing. It's, the health aspect really made me stick with it. And then everything else I was learning about the environment and factory farming just kind of clinched it for me. It was impossible to go back.
Nice. A question from, who's it from? Went so fast. I'm not sure if you can answer this, but maybe you can. From Marie, is the nutritional yeast that Mama Sezz uses fortified or unfortified?
It's unfortified. We don't use any fortified products. Because everything is totally whole food. So we don't have any added vitamins or minerals or anything like that. I hope that's the answer to the question you're looking for.
Thank you.
Yeah, we try to keep everything whole food. So we do have, it's really interesting. We have ingredients that have B12 naturally in them. Like we use kelp, and that also has a lot of DHA omega in it. We use that in our tuna-ish salad, kind of like tuna fish. And that is a new product. It's actually slowly becoming our #1 product. And it is made from soybeans. We have kelp in there. We have, dill pickles, a lot of lemon. It really tastes like a tuna salad, but it's totally whole food, plant-based, low sodium. We have a little bit of our mac sauce in there as well to make it creamy. But yeah, we use kelp, and that helps to, fortify it in a way. We have nutritional yeast in a lot of our products. Mushrooms have a little vitamin D. So we try to get most of our vitamins right from the plant themselves.
That's nice.
So this has thickened quite a bit. So I am going to go ahead, and I just have these 2 little containers here. They're just little Pyrex bowls, and I'm just going to fill them, and then we can work on the crust. But if you'd like to add a little bit more non-dairy milk or veggie broth and make it a little bit more of a liquidy base, that's totally fine. I like it a little bit thicker, just because it seems a little heartier to me. But it will cook off a tiny bit in the oven.
What are you going to be having for your Thanksgiving, Chef Caroline?
Ooh, I'm such a control freak when it comes to Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday. So I have sent out to my family members a list of all the recipes that they're going to be making, and then the recipes that I'm going to be making. I'm going to make a stuffing. It's going to be I'm probably going to use Mama Sezz sausage in it, and sage, and apples, and a little bit of potato. That's going to be my stuffing. I'm going to do a garlic mashed potato, a gravy, which is my favorite part of Thanksgiving. I just dump gravy on everything. And I usually use ground up porcini mushrooms. Sometimes I use a little bit of instant coffee to give it like a smoky flavor almost. Veggie broth base. I might use a little bit of cashew cream just to make it nice and creamy. I'll probably use the garbanzo bean flour to thicken it up a little bit, and then chunks of mushroom to kind of imitate the heart and the gizzard and everything else that used to go into the gravy, which sounds kind of gross now, but I will be eating Thanksgiving dinner with a bunch of meat eaters. So, which, last year I brought my vegan gravy and everybody was fighting over it, and didn't even tell anybody it was vegan until the end, and they were all shocked. So it usually goes that way. If you give people, especially if you're going to be with your family who's not on board with your plant-based lifestyle, just giving them delicious food, not even saying that it's plant-based, because it's not really, necessary information until the end when they ask, is a great way to go about it.
And what's so weird is Thanksgiving is all about the sides anyway, and all the sides are vegan. You know what I mean?
It's so true. And, that's what people ask me, like, what do you eat on Thanksgiving? And I'm like, stuffing, potatoes, pumpkin pie, just list everything but the turkey. And, you just do a plant-based gravy, and then you're good to go. And, we're all here for the desserts anyway. So
what are you going to make for dessert?
I'm going to make a pumpkin pie. And it's a little fatty because it's nut heavy on the crust. And then I do use coconut milk in the, to kind of solidify it. It's a no bake. I just kind of blend. It's on the Mama Sezz website, and I believe it's salt free actually. And, no refined sugars and no oils, but you just take nuts and dates and pulse them and then press them into a pie crust. And then you take pumpkin, straight from the can, or you can roast your own as long as the only ingredient on there is pumpkin. Some chia seeds. I use some pumpkin spice, the sugar-free, without the sugar added to it. So it's, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice. Throw that in there and some coconut milk and kind of smooth it into place, put it in the refrigerator, and the next day it's good to go. And I set aside a little bit of the coconut milk and I whip it and just put a little dollop on top of each slice of pie.
Nice. Do you ever work with aquafaba?
I tried once and it was an absolute failure on my part. I've seen other people do it and be so successful. I whipped it and I was ready to add it to whatever I was going to add it to, and the whole thing just deflated. And I'm not sure. I think it was because I put it in contact with something hot, but I'm not sure if that was the issue. Do you use it a lot?
I have a legume allergy, so I don't, but I wish there was something else we could do instead that wasn't made from beans. But I see people make things like meringue out of it and it blows my mind.
It is really surprising. I really want to try it again because I was very disappointed when it didn't go well. But yeah, I've eaten some things made out of aquafaba that have been absolutely delicious, and it has that same like crunchy texture when it's baked. I just it's maybe that's all I'll experiment with this weekend.
Did you always love to cook, or just since you became vegan?
I have always loved to cook. Actually, right before this, I was on a FaceTime call. My uncle is in his late 60s. He has Down syndrome, and he's in a nursing home right now. And, because of COVID, he hasn't been able to interact with people as much, which has been really tough. So we do a weekly call with him on Zoom. And he was actually the first person to teach me how to cook because he loved Rachel Ray. So when I was a really little kid, I would cook with him. And then I would just sit at the kitchen table and do my homework when my parents would cook dinner. And, I would smell the garlic and they'd add the tomatoes and I just ask them about every single step. And then one day I just kind of took over slowly in the kitchen. And by the end of high school, I was cooking most of our dinners just because I really, really wanted to. And I love to do it. And, it was tough when I went into college and I wasn't doing my own cooking. But I'm really thankful that somebody else was doing the cooking when I transitioned to plant-based, because I've heard that's the hardest part. And I kind of got to bypass that by being in the dining hall, which isn't always the best food in the world, but at least it's made for you. And then I could slowly transition into cooking my own plant-based meals, which has been so much fun, broadened my horizons. It's had me try a bunch of ingredients I don't think I ever would have used before. I'm, making Thai food now. I'm making Indian food. I probably would have stuck to my meat and potatoes and, lasagnas every night. So it's been really exciting.
Is your roommate vegan?
She's not, but she loves vegetables. So when we're hanging out, she'll eat pretty much what I'm eating. And then, when she goes out to eat, she'll, order whatever she'd like from the restaurant, but she's definitely into it. And she knew the other girl on my tennis team that was also plant-based. So when the three of us get together, there's plant food everywhere, and she's definitely down for it. When we go out to eat, sometimes she'll even split, whole food, plant-based, vegan dishes with me instead of getting whatever she'd normally get.
Right. Would you date a guy that isn't vegan?
I actually am dating a guy that isn't vegan.
Oh no, what can we do about that?
Well, I'm working on it. When I first met him, he was drinking about a half a gallon of milk a day, and he was in the Marine Corps, and just the food they feed them there is not ideal.
Well, have him watch yesterday's show. We had 10 veterans on that are vegan from every branch of the armed forces. Maybe he can see how big and strong you can be.
Yes, I will definitely have him watch that. He's been pretty on board. I've gotten him. He loves tofu now. He didn't touch it before. He really loves beans and potatoes and peas. And so, when he's over at my place, I'll just kind of load up his plate with that. And he really, really enjoys it. And even on his own, he's been eating black bean tacos. And, he's totally cut out milk, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Well, let's get him on the show and I'll work on him for an hour. I'll grind them down. So Denny says, so sorry to hear about your uncle. And, you think about like many of us have adjusted to the new normal or whatever of COVID, but then we forget about the people that are in places like nursing homes that really haven't been able to see people,
Yeah, it's been really tough. He's out in West Virginia, and so I really can't travel to go see him. And he has his dementia, he's stage 4 right now, so he's definitely gone downhill since COVID started. And I think a part of it is Downs are so social, and not being able to have that social interaction. He used to have visitors, every day a week. He was very, very popular in his hometown, and they just haven't been able to visit. But we just set him up with a tablet where we can call in, and he doesn't have to press any buttons or say anything, and all of a sudden we're just there in the room with him on the screen. So we just set that up, and I think that's going to be a big game changer for him. But I know a lot of people who are struggling with the same thing with their elderly parents or relatives that just feel really isolated right now.
Yeah. Did you want, I see that there's another guest in the wings waiting. Should I have her join now, or did you want to finish the recipe? What would you prefer to do?
Let's see. It'll take me just a minute to finish the recipe. So let's do that. And then let's bring her in. The last little part of this, it's super simple. You just take half a cup of your garbanzo bean flour. I put garlic powder and pepper, and then you just put enough veggie broth in to make your mixture thicker than a pancake batter, but thinner than a dough. And then you pour it right on top of your veggies, pop it in the oven on 350 for, I usually do about half an hour, but you can go a little bit longer, especially if you put a little more liquid in. And then it's good to eat. It's best right out of the oven. The garbanzo bean flour tends to get a little, sticky after it sits in the refrigerator for a couple days. But yeah, I'll just pour this right on, and I'll show you what that looks like. Put it in the oven, and then we can say hello to Millie and Meg. So this is what it looks like right here. It almost looks like a gravy on top of your veggies. So I'm gonna put that in at 350 again for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's good. So then it'll be ready by the time we're done talking to Millie.
Perfect. Okay.
You seem pretty tall. What are you, like 5'10"?
I am 5'10". I'm crouching down right now to be in the screen so the counter's here, but this would be me normally.
I was going to say, you're a tall drink of water, as my mom used to say. I'm pretty good at guessing people's height and weight, even, believe it or not. But I won't guess your weight. So why don't we bring Millie on? I see she's in the wings. All you have to do is unmute yourself and talk. Hey, Meg. Hey, Millie. Happy birthday 5 days ago.
Hi, everything's fine.
How are you?
Good. Oh my God, you guys look great. If you guys don't know this lovely mother-daughter duo, on the left is Meg and on the right is Millie. And Millie was the inspiration and still is the inspiration for the Mama Sezz food delivery company. And Millie's chili is named after her. And if you haven't heard the story, we'll have them tell it again. But Millie was late to the broadcast because she was playing tennis at age 90.
Oh, actually, I was playing tennis. Mom could have been.
I love tennis, believe me.
Mom taught me how to play and golf and swim, everything, every piece of it.
You look amazing. You look great, Millie. How have you been?
Great.
Millie, you look fantastic. How have you been?
I've been wonderful, really.
Okay. I don't know why Caroline.
I've been just fine, really fine. I've
Your hair looks great.
not had a sick day in 8 years. Oh, thank you very much. No hairdresser cutting the hair anymore. So
No, it looks really,
She's been great. We've really been quarantined. So
wow.
it's nice to see you again, AJ.
It's so good. I'm so sorry we never got
can
to
you hear us?
meet. Yeah, whoever talks is Zoom big, but you guys maybe need to be closer or talk louder so it doesn't
Sure.
go on you.
Yeah.
You guys look fantastic. Hey, you want to talk anything about Mama Sezz? Anything what's new? Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Excited about some of the new products that we have, especially the SOS line. And Caroline can talk more about them, but we just feel like we've hit our sweet spot, no pun intended, where we really have worked so hard for the last, 3 years and really refining our product line. And so we have some great products, and we're coming up with a new thing that I think will be super for your community. We're doing a sample. People can try a sample pack of our SOS line, and it's just expensive. You can try the food, see if you like it, love it, because it makes it so much easier. And so that's coming out. Yeah, we've just been doing great. We even had a really cool thing just happen with Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey is now accepting Mama Sezz meals. So doctors can recommend Mama Sezz meals to their patients, and the Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield will pay for it. So we're ecstatic. We all know food is medicine, and if you can have really good food, it's all that better of medicine. And Mom's story, Mom just turned 90, just had a birthday a couple weeks ago, and she's doing fabulous and just started her Instagram account. So,
Oh, I'd love to follow you, Millie. Kelly says, I just ordered from Mama Sezz and I'm excited to try. A sample pack would be awesome. And Diane says, I love their food. And Sid says, Blue Cross Blue Shield covers the food. That's awesome. Oh, so no, Millie's the mother, Meg is the daughter. They're asking if Caroline is the granddaughter. That's so sweet.
That would be cool.
She could be, but no, she's somebody else's granddaughter. Yeah. And Teresa says, both you ladies look amazing. And actually all three do. Yep. Gorgeous skin. Of course, look, plant eaters are like that. And Marie says, I love the article on Millie that is on the Mama Sezz website. Great story.
It's a true story. It really is a true story. It's been almost 9 years since I've been here, and not a sick day since I arrived. Thanks to Meg and Mama Sezz. It's been amazing.
How do we get you on the speaking circuit, Millie? Talking at, well, right now there's no conferences, but why don't you go around every doctor's office and every old folks home and just say, hey, you don't have to live like this.
We're going to be in New York Metro is going to be doing a big webinar with a lot of the nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and Mom will be speaking at that.
Nice. Make sure you film it.
Okay, we will, and we'll send it.
I'll put it on my YouTube channel. Seriously.
Oh, beautiful.
That sounds great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Kathy says, I ordered Mama Sezz for months and I loved the food.
Yay, thank you, Kathy.
It's really great. It makes a big difference.
Do you think more people ordered more since the pandemic, just because?
I do because, so many moms that we've been talking to have been like us, because we're home. And so I have my kids home and we're homeschooling, and you're cooking all the time. And I mean, I thank God I have Mama Sezz. I don't know what I'd do. And so a lot of moms are running into that same, like, oh my God, I just want a little help. And that's really what our products do. They're designed to, you can either eat them as they are, or like Caroline does. She's so much more creative than I am. But any product can be made into so many different things. And so it just gives you the base. It does all the heavy lifting. And then you can be creative and not exhaust yourself. So we've definitely seen from moms in particular who are like, thank goodness you're here.
Is Millie's chili still one of the top sellers? I hear so much about that from people. They love it.
It is. It's great. It's really, really terrific. I enjoy it every time I have it.
It is. It's one of the tops.
Yeah.
Linda's saying nursing homes need your food. Maybe when she talks there, she can bring some of the heartbeats or something and say, hey.
Sounds like a good plan.
If they let you bring it in.
You just feel so much better. And, in Mom's story, for people who don't know it, she was ready, released to hospice care, and we brought her home here, and very, very sick, clearly. And we didn't know a whole lot about it, and just researched. And then, of course, felt like, how did we not know this?
Yeah. Does Dr. Esselstyn know about?
He did, I sent him, and this has really kind of started a whole lot of our company. I sent Dr. Esselstyn a letter thanking him, because it was his book that we read, and about a year, just so grateful. We sent him a letter, and he called me, and you know him, he's just And then from there, I've gone to their house, and Jane and I talk frequently, and Ann and I, and they're just lovely. They're just absolutely lovely people.
That's really cool. I'm so happy for your success. And Gina says it's amazing that insurance company is working with you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of the holy grail, because, but it makes total sense. You know, any insurance company now, especially Kaiser Permanente out on the West Coast, is leading the way, that they know their costs will go down. And so they're highly motivated to work with companies that can help their patients, you know, not have the hypertension, reduce the incidence of heart disease and type 2 diabetes and all of these things. So it's kind of I didn't know that at first, but it's a natural fit for us. So, you
know what I was thinking is when Millie makes the rest home or old folks home circuits or nursing home circuits, maybe you could do a study where half the people go on Mama Sezz for a month and half the people keep eating what they're eating and see who does better.
Oh my God, you'd know
Right.
exactly what would happen.
Yes, great idea.
And just being you know, who'd believe you're 90?
Nope, I don't.
It's not. I don't.
Well, I don't feel it then. I don't know how you're supposed to feel at 90, but sounds sort of scary.
Have you had any requests for Mama Sezz offerings that you're considering, or some maybe that you just couldn't quite get to work?
You know, we have one of our new products is we have a tuna-ish that
Caroline is saying it's really popular.
Oh my golly, it's really so amazing. Great. Yeah, it's amazing. We work with this great company off the coast of Maine for their kelp, which is great because fishermen can become kelp farmers, and it's great for the ocean. It has B12 in it. So
and it's delicious. It really is so good.
Fabulous. Yeah. And you know, always somebody wants something sweet, so we have a few healthy sweets. And that's really, and if we can get that where it's good for everyone, and you're not going to send people off on a crazy, you know, sugar craving path, but give them something that satisfies that. We have a really good rice pudding that is really satisfying that way. No sugar.
Excellent.
Yeah. So.
Diane says she can't wait to try the tuna and is wondering if the pot pie that Caroline is making today might be added to the repertoire.
I don't know, Caroline, you're going to have to answer that. What do you think?
We might be able to do it. I think, you know, production wise, I think it would work. Like I said, it's definitely with garbanzo bean flour. It's definitely good right out of the oven, but we'll test it. And if it works, then we'll throw it up on the website. That could be good, especially for winter.
Sarah's asking where you guys are based.
Sure, we're based out of Vermont and Key, New Hampshire, and we ship nationwide, everywhere in 2 days. So all of our shipping is 2 days.
Then how does she live in a different state?
Isn't that, I know, this is the magic of Zoom, because our facility, she commutes to our facility, and so she can get there, because New England's kind of, all of our states are pretty close to each other. You know, I'm 3 hours from Manhattan, where I am in Vermont. I'm 15 minutes from, 10 minutes from New Hampshire. So everything's kind of really close.
Okay. I skipped 4th grade. I never had geography. You know what I was thinking might be a fun idea, Meg? What about a Mama Sezz food truck, and you drive it and Millie will be there and just, you know, wouldn't that be cool?
We had, and Caroline still might do it once COVID is over. We wanted to do a cross-country food truck with Mama Sezz food, and so get people to try it and just hit all the big cities, have music. So it might happen. It might happen.
I could see Millie with like a big megaphone saying, you know, talking to the people. That'd be adorable.
Driving.
Sure, I love it. I'm all in.
The big part of that too is we're going to put a big gratitude board on the sign so people could fill in what they're grateful for, and you know, as it moves across the country, people can see, you know, what other people have written, and just inspire some gratitude as we go.
I say do it. That would be fun.
I like that.
And that'll get people to try the food, and then they can order the food, because maybe some people just don't want to. I think some people just, unless they know it's good, they're like worried maybe the first time. I mean, I've had it. It's great. When I was traveling, I used to get it for my husband when I was gone, let him just, you know, have food that when I will be gone.
That's the idea behind the sample pack, is we realized that, food's very personal and you want to see if it's good. So that's what we went with. And that'll be coming out in a few weeks, but we have a great holiday bundle as well coming out. It's already out, which is good. You can check that out just to make holidays a little bit easier.
Janice says, how does the return for packing supplies work after the order is delivered?
Yeah,
okay. We send each box with a return label that's custom to the customer. And so once they get their box, they can just take all their Mama Sezz food, put it right in the refrigerator, slap that label right on the box, and then call FedEx for a pickup. And then we do all of your recycling. You can even eat all of your food and then take your packaging and put it back in the box before you send it. And to make it even easier for you, we've sent a little strip of tape to go right over the top. So it's just really simple. It's eco-friendly. And we can ensure that everything's been recycled in a responsible way.
That's great. Angela says, will you deliver to customers who are hospitalized?
We have done that before. We've delivered right to the hospital. The only thing is you can talk to Mindy, our customer service representative, and she can help walk you through the process and, what days it'll be delivered and that sort of thing. But we do deliver on Thursdays and Fridays. So you just have to make sure that you're at the hospital at that point, or somebody would be able to pick it up from your address and bring it to you there.
Yeah, but will they refrigerate it, the nursing staff? I guess that would be up to the hospital.
Yeah, the people that have done it in the past have had a little mini fridge in the room. I don't know if they brought that themselves. I've asked at my uncle's nursing home before that they refrigerate some of his food in their refrigerator in the kitchen, and they were willing to do that. So I would definitely speak to the hospital before you order the food, just to be sure. But everything also stays nice and cool in your cooler box that we send for a couple days. So even if you're able to just swap out the ice packs every few days, you'd be able to keep it in there for quite some time.
Thank you. Lori says, can we get a gift bundle for the holidays without actually subscribing?
Yes, everything. You totally have an option if you want to subscribe or not. And even if you do subscribe, you can log into your account and cancel or pause at any time. So it's totally flexible. A lot of our customers are just one-time purchasers, especially if it's their first time. We talked about a little bit of anxiety for people ordering from a food company if they haven't tried it before. So that's a great way to do it. Is just we have a build your own bundle that is launching fairly soon, and we also have an a la carte option. If you order a bundle, it can still be a one-time purchase as well. And then you can hop on subscription at any time.
That's great. That's great. So Meg and Millie, do you guys even cook anymore, or do you just eat Mama Sezz every day?
Mama Sezz.
Mama Sezz every day.
Every day.
But
yes.
it's flexible enough. So it doesn't feel like the same thing every day. We'll have like the Hungarian mushroom soup. You can have it over a potato. You can have it over noodles. You can have it just as it is, or, over veggie. There's everything has so many ways you can do it. But we have it every day, AJ.
Thank you. Karen says, are you going to do more variety for the Chef AJ bundle?
Yes. Yeah. And Caroline can talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. How we actually ended up with a lot of the products for the Chef AJ bundle was we kind of took existing recipes that we had already, and we took the salt out, and then we added whatever other ingredients we needed to give it that pop. So it didn't taste, like we just removed the salt. Sometimes that's lemon juice, sometimes it's lime juice, sometimes it's a little nutritional yeast, bump up the spices, whatever we got to do. But we have been looking to make some of our other products salt-free as well, especially some of the more popular ones. Hopefully we can get the mac sauce there soon, because I know people really.
I was going to say, I got 4 books now. Why don't you just make something from my book? I'd give you permission. You don't have to give me anything.
Oh, definitely. That would be really, really fun.
Well, I have those books. We should do that over the break. Well, it's not really.
You know what I do? I can email you what I think the most popular ones are, at least according to the people that have told me.
Fun.
I think it'd be amazing. I could promote it even more, because now it's like you can actually get my food. Diane says she gives her stamp of approval to their food. So do I. My favorites, I love the marinara, and I've made homemade marinara. Yours is the best I've ever tried.
I think that's because we slow cook it for hours and hours and hours, and that takes out the acidity and it makes it sweet without adding any sugar. And it's a lot chunkier than most marinaras. It's really, really hearty. And we use, a classic Italian recipe. We have all those, fresh herbs and spices in there, and then it's just absolutely slow roasted in order to get that nice natural sweetness from the tomatoes.
A question, what is in the Mama Sezz protein strips?
Oh, the protein strips are actually just made out of soybeans. And it's really, really interesting because one of our cooks recommended that we try these strips, and we ended up doing it. And they just, if you haven't had them before, they are kind of like the texture of chicken, and they almost look like a chicken strip. And so we spice them in a couple different ways. The most popular one is our ginger garlic protein strips, and those taste kind of like a teriyaki chicken almost. So it really, mix it with a little rice, and you have chicken fried rice. I had it over salad for lunch with a little balsamic. But they're really, really versatile. I made Korean tacos with them once. We have an Italian herb. We have a lemon pepper, and we have a jerk spiced strip as well.
That sounds great. I wish I wasn't allergic to soy because it sounds amazing. Sid says, are the strips similar to soy curls?
They are similar to soy curls. Yeah, they definitely the same kind of texture, that chewiness that you get from soy curls, and same basic ingredients.
Nice. So Karen says, Millie looks great. Millie, you have any beauty secrets you want to share with us other than the food?
Just good food, really. Good food and love. I've got both. I'm very, very blessed.
But your skin is so beautiful. Do you wash your face with anything special?
No, just cream and then wipe it off.
Wow.
Wash it off.
You look great. So here's a question from Carol. Millie was in hospice care. Did the whole food plant diet save her?
Yes, definitely it did. I did not want anything when I came here to eat. I just kept saying, Meg, brings me small dishes of anything, just small. And so she did. And eventually the taste, the flavor, I kept eating more and more. And it made a big change because I had no desire to eat when I arrived. And then I started looking forward to each meal. And here I am.
I know.
What does your doctor think of your amazing recovery?
He's very great. I've changed. I just had changed. My doctor just retired. I'm just on a new one, but he was always very happy with what I was very pleased that I was doing well. All my signs are good, and I'm very blessed.
You'll probably outlive all your doctors, Millie.
In my life.
I bet she'll outlive all the doctors.
She will.
You ever say to them, hey, how come you didn't tell me that this saved my life, doc?
They couldn't believe it at Dartmouth. We went about 3-4 years in. She had an appointment and we would go. We always work with her doctors because we're just, you do both. And she was in there for like an hour, and I was waiting in the waiting room, and I'm like, oh, did something happen? And she came out and she like jogged over to me and she said, they can't believe it. And I even saved it. I wish I had it. I should have brought it, where they showed her heart function. And this is really, when you look at the actual numbers and you function that was less than 10%. And now she's at the low end of normal. And they just were like, great job. And she was in there so long because they were like, what are you doing? How is this happening?
More nurses and doctors kept coming into the room looking at all my tests. And I just sat there and thought, what is going on? And then when they told me at the end of it that, this is such a great change, that I couldn't wait to tell Meg.
I know, so she came jogging out to the waiting room.
Kathy says, Mama Sezz was my lifesaver at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, thank you. That's so good to hear.
Nice. So Caroline, how's that pie coming?
Let's see, we have just 8 more minutes left on it. I do have one that I made this morning though, just so you can see the finished product. So I'll go grab that. hope you're able to see this. It makes a nice little crust on the top
Ooh,
here. And you can see from the
Right.
side, you have your layer of veggies and it's that creamy starchiness, that you'd get in a pot pie. And then this kind of crust just seals it all in at the top. And you can rebake this and have it later, keep it in the fridge for a little while. But I served that to my roommate and she gave it 2 thumbs up. She's a meat eater, doesn't do a lot of gluten-free. So, if she gives it 2 thumbs up, then.
Well, that's good. Well, we won't let her go vegan just yet. We'll keep her as an honest taste tester for a while.
We actually, we're developing a chorizo right now. And so I've been feeding her the test samples and I'm like, does this taste like chorizo? Because I haven't had chorizo in like 5 years. So yeah, she's a nice little taste tester for that.
That's neat. Well, I bet you could even freeze it.
Yeah, I think you could. I'll try it and then I'll let you know how it goes with the defrosting. But I think if you just let it defrost and then put it in the oven, the top would crisp right back up.
Even if somebody didn't want to make the crust, the filling would just be so good, like over rice.
Oh yeah, over rice or in a baked potato. That would be really good.
Yep. So Beverly says, are Mama Sezz products helpful for weight loss?
Great question. We actually have a weight loss program and it's 4 weeks long. People usually lose an average of 12 pounds during that 4 weeks. A lot of reduced inflammation. When you eat plant-based, you get a lot more out of it than just weight loss. So a lot of people have noticed that, their skin is clearer, their inflammation's gone. They have more energy during the day. We've had a lot of people go on 4-week programs. I actually just finished up with one of my close friends who had high uric acid levels. So he was pre-gout, pre-diabetes, and overweight. And since going plant-based and going on our 4-week program, he's lost a total of, I think it's been about a couple months for him. He's lost a total of 35 pounds. He's no longer on his crutches that he was needing to get from place to place. And he's a high school teacher and coach. And so he's able to run around with the kids now. The inflammation in his ankle went away totally after 4 days of being plant-based. And he dropped all that weight and he's still losing weight. So people on the program have had really, really amazing results. And what we do is we portion it out for you. So you don't really have to think about it at all. We say, here's your breakfast. You're eating big salad, you're eating rice pudding with, chopped cherries on it. And for lunch, you're having a big salad with some tuna-ish and, tomato and onion. And it's a little bit flexible. So you can kind of add what you like to it. But it also kind of structures it so you don't have to think too much. And then we give you daily emails with tips on weight loss. We explain to you how kind of the brain science behind weight loss, so you understand what's happening to your body, which makes the process a little bit easier. And then we give you recommended snacks. So if you do get hungry, you're not going to rush off and go get some McDonald's or, find something way back in your freezer that you can heat up in the oven. You'll have something right there that you can eat that'll be healthy for you and promote weight loss as well. We also have a Mastering Diabetes plan that is a 4-week program too that promotes weight loss as well.
Very nice. So let's see. Yes, guys, the recipe will be posted. It's always on YouTube, never on Facebook. So try to watch on YouTube if you can. And I post them right after the broadcast ends. I don't have enough room in the show notes until it ends. Then Karen says, Mama Sezz was the bridge for me going whole food plant-based and actually making my own food. I had tons of recipes, but was afraid to fix them. Then I saw how well things went together with Mama Sezz, so I took the leap. And Marie says, I used Mama Sezz in the beginning, which helped a lot because I was still cooking sad for my husband.
That's so exciting to hear. I think it does make transitioning a lot easier. And for those people who don't like to cook or don't have a lot of experience in the kitchen, it makes a great quick grab and go, heat and eat dinner, breakfast or lunch. And then if you do like to cook, you can get fancy with it. Make special sauces to go on top or really dress it up. And we send you with serving suggestions. For instance, with our mac attack and our tuna-ish, if you mix it together with some peas, you have tuna casserole. If you take our marinara sauce and blend it with a little mac sauce, you have tomato soup. So you can get really fancy with it too if you do enjoy being in the kitchen and cooking.
That's very cool. Very cool. I'm waiting for that pie to come out of the oven.
Me too. We have 3 minutes left.
All right. Well, what do you guys want to talk about for the next 3 minutes?
Let's see. I think it would be exciting to talk about what's in the Chef AJ bundle, just in case people are interested in ordering some SOS-free foods. And when you go to the website, you can also filter for what's salt-free, but all of our products are sugar and oil-free as well. So you mentioned people really like the chili, and that is in the Chef AJ bundle. That's a favorite. And you can put that, I've made taco salad with that. You can put it in romaine lettuce leaves, with a little bit of rice. And, if you do have avocado or little bits of fat or, cashew cream or something like that, you could put that on top. But it is really, really thick. So it makes for a great versatile dish. We also, I believe, have the Buddha bowl base in there. Is that correct? I think so. And that is something that, I might not think to order on its own, but every time it's in the refrigerator, it's such a game changer. It makes everything so easy. And it's just rice, garbanzo beans, and quinoa fully cooked and ready to go. So it can be the base of your Buddha bowl. You can mix it into your soups to make them a little bit more hearty. You can use them if you're making, those romaine chili taco shells. There are just so many different ways you can use them. And the pain and hassle of cooking your grains is totally gone, which is nice. I believe we also have the breakfast smoothie in there, which is similar to the strong heartbeats. And that one, it's good we have Millie here because it's really, really good for your heart. It helps to open up those blood vessels. So whether you're an athlete or you have heart problems, the strong heartbeats is really, really beneficial. And that one has blueberries, some chia seed, lemon, date, and a lot of beets. Beets are the base. And that is really good on its own. I put it as jelly on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You can blend it with frozen banana and make a nice smoothie, add a little spinach, add a little plant-based milk, whatever you normally do. But those are 3 of my favorite products in the Chef AJ bundle. And the beeper is going off right now. Pie.
Great. And Meg, does Mama Sezz have a cookbook? Beverly wants to know. Can't hear you, Meg. Can you still hear us?
I think her internet might be glitching.
Yeah, it was a little spotty at times. Meg and Millie, maybe wait, they're gone. Oh, well. Well, it was nice to see them, but maybe you can answer if Mama Sezz has a cookbook.
Yes, we have been working on a cookbook actually for quite some time. I think it's going to end up being a e-cookbook, so you can download it. And it'll be on our website, but we have a ton of sections on there: sauces, dressing, dessert, appetizers, entrees, soups. And most of the dishes are from scratch. All of them can be made SOS free. All of them are oil free and sugar free. And I would say about 95% of them are gluten free or gluten free adaptable. And then that I'm not sure when we're going to have that coming out. We're actually, we have our website is getting updated soon. So it's going to have a whole new look and feel. It's really exciting. It's going to be gorgeous. And that's happening in the next couple of weeks. So we'll probably launch the cookbook right after that, which would be really, really nice.
Yeah, terrific. Well, maybe come back on the show then. Marie says, I also like the articles on their site, and they have some good recipes too. And if you sign up, they send out a very inspirational email every Saturday with what's right in the world. And then we also have a question from Barbara. If one purchases a bundle, would you still have to grocery shop for the month too?
Oh, great question. It kind of depends. If you are just getting, like our Get Me Started bundle or our athletes bundle, and you're just using it with our serving suggestions, which are just little ways to spice it up. You can also just heat and eat everything. Then you will probably need to do, supplemental grocery shopping for your greens and all of your fresh produce. If you're on one of our plans, we actually give you a small grocery shopping list to go along with it. So if you're on the weight loss plan or the Mastering Diabetes plan, we'll have you shop for your, fresh fruit and leafy greens, and a couple of your optional snacks as well. But what I usually do is I get my bundle and then I just get, 3 or 4 of my favorite fruits and veggies for the week, and I'm good to go. Your non-dairy milk, all your little extras, you'll have to purchase on your own, but all of your cooked food is right there ready to eat. And I love how she mentioned the Saturday email, because that's something that we've actually gotten a huge response for. We just send, and we call it our Saturday cheer email, and it's just good news from around the internet. And I open it every Saturday. It brightens my day. It's anything that you could find on the internet that'll just put a big smile on your face. So if you'd like to sign up for our email subscription, you can do that through a link on Instagram. You can also do that on our website. And it's definitely worth it because it's very uplifting.
All right. So did you take the pie out?
We did take the pie out. Here it is. You can see it's nice and it's starting to get a little bit toasty on top, which is just how you want it. It's totally solidified right on top, but it's still a little liquidy in the bottom. So
looks amazing.
And bite right into it.
Wow. Wait, you gotta talk.
There. Oh yeah. So you can see it has the crispy crust on top. It's steaming still, and it's nice and juicy in the bottom there.
That looks amazing. Oh,
Yes, it looks great.
love it. Have you tried her pot pie yet, Millie?
No, I haven't yet. Looking forward to it though.
It looks
will
great.
be.
Yeah, yeah, we will see now. I'm
I think we could get it on the menu, Caroline. That looks
Yeah,
just-
definitely.
too yummy.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure seeing you, Millie and Meg and Caroline. You're just a wonderful chef. Come on anytime when you get maybe when the cookbook comes out, we'll tell people about it, and maybe you can do another recipe because you're just so fun to talk to.
Oh, thank you. I always have so much fun on your show. Thank you so much for having us. And I'd love to come back and talk about the cookbook when we launch that.
Absolutely. And Meg and Millie, you guys are amazing. Thank you for all you do to get people to eat healthier and save lives.
Oh, thank you, Chef
Thank you.
AJ. And
Thank you.
I think we should get one of your products from your cookbook. I love that idea.
I
That's
think
what
so.
I'm
We could
about.
you could do a whole show. I got some ideas. I'll email you.
Okay, email me because we'll do it. You know us. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah. And I don't know if
you.
you guys know, I don't know if you watch the show regularly, but it's sponsored by Thomas Allen, California Balsamic. Caroline, you've already been on the show, so you already got your vinegars, right?
Yes.
We don't give it to repeated guests, but Millie, since this is your first time on, you get to choose 2 flavors of balsamic vinegar as your parting gift. So I'll send you that email and you get to choose whatever you like.
Well,
See, you didn't know you were going to get a
Wonderful.
prize. You didn't know you were going to get a prize.
that's wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for being on. Thank you, Mama Sezz. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time when my guest is Julie Piat, and she's going to be making mushroom risotto and berry pie. Take care, everyone. Bye, Mama Sezz.